We are coming to you from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. ESPN brings you the PBA Storm Las Vegas Classic at the Castaways. We are down to our final five, gunning for the top prize of $40,000. Now let's meet our finalists. Why, thank you very much. From Ocala, Florida, appearing in his 8th telecast of the season, a Hall of Famer with 35 career wins, Walter Ray Williams Jr. He's appearing in his first show of the season, looking for his 2nd career win from Tarrytown, New York, Patrick Allen. Ranked 18th in the PBA World Rankings. Today looking for his first title from Wichita, Kansas, Lonnie Waliczek. From Bel Air, Maryland, his 5 career wins include the 1998 Major PBA National Championship. They call him the Turtle, Tim Criss. He has 18 career titles and almost $2 million in earnings. The winner of this event in 1988 from Barquisimeto, Venezuela, Amleto, Monacelli. Those are the 5 finalists for the Las Vegas Classic. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire crew with you from Vegas. Randy, let's look at the matchups.
Dave, here are the matchups for today. Walter Ray Williams Jr. comes in as our wild card. He has to win 3 matches for a 36th career title. He faces lefty Patrick Allen. Tim Criss joins Allen in their first show of the year. He meets Lonnie Waliczek, and Amleto Monacelli awaits the winner of the Allen-Walter Ray match.
We are ready to go. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, Leslie Goodell will handle the interviews on the lanes. And Walter Ray Williams Jr. will start things off from Vegas as a wild card participant. Not standard for him. And not a great start.
Man, that's some hook in the middle. Come on.
Well, hook in the middle is something that the players didn't have a whole lot of all week. We'll get to the oil pattern a little bit later, but it's the way they played the lanes, man. They kept it in the middle part of the lane and let that oil kind of feed the ball to the right.
Picks up his mark. Lost in the round of 8, did Walter Ray. Here last night, facing the lone left-hander of our 5-man field in Vegas, Patrick Allen from near New York City. They call him PA. He's looking for a 2nd career title, ranked 22nd in the tour points list. Good start in the pocket for the lefty.
And a great, impressive showing last night by Patrick Allen just to make it this far. He was down 0-2 in his match, came back, swept the next 3 games. 3rd highest average on the telecast. Great strike percentage. Spare conversion, okay. And did bowl the maximum amount of games you can possibly bowl in our format, 35.
Now it's single elimination match play. After best of 7, best of 5, and best of 5 in match play. From the round of 32 to the TV show, get some help on the 10-pin.
Yeah, a nice break. Of course, when you throw it as good as Patrick Allen throws it, look at that high backswing and watch this finish. Beautiful. And this is why you put revs and power in a bowling ball, to carry those off hits when the ball's not perfectly in the pocket.
Back to Walter Ray, 43 years old, the tour's top player. Help with the 9-pin there, as he's trying to tie the great Earl Anthony with his 6th Player of the Year award. Thanks to efforts like this, his match play this week, he's on his way. Lost to Lonnie Waliczek in 5, and to show you how hungry Walter Ray is, he was very upset, even though he knew he had the wild card matched up. He's still so competitive, just wanted to keep winning. Help for the 10? No.
You know, we talked last night a little bit about how do you stop Walter Ray Williams Jr., and in my opinion, this is the weakest part of Walter's game, if he does have a weakness. You get Walter further towards the left side of the lane and make him open up the lane. he doesn't have all the revolutions and power that a lot of guys have, and this is one of the ways that you slow him down.
10-pin picks up the mark. Walter says he's most frustrated when he doesn't play well. It's another thing to not play well. When you lose your matches, that's one thing. But when you don't perform up to his standards, and they're very high, that's when he really gets upset at himself.
Right, and, you know, he'd rather only have to bowl 2 games to win the title than 3. You know, you pop an extra game in there. Last week's format, obviously the place to be was tournament leader. Brian Smith bowls 1 game, wins $100 grand in the Masters.
Looking for a triple and a 20-pin lead. Patrick Allen. 10 down in the pit for him.
Something we'll be talking about all week is the pin carry here, which is phenomenal. Every match went the distance. In the round of 8 against Ryan Schaefer, down 0-2. Needs 2 strikes in the 10th frame to advance. Got up there and went bang, bang.
The famous Patrick Allen enthusiasm was really on display last night after he fired the second of his necessary strikes in the 10th to help wrap up that round of 8 match. But he said at time he's really trying to keep that little lower key. There's a double wood for him on the 3 and 9 pin. So only at the big moments we'll see him explode.
Yeah, he said he's really trying to control his emotions because doing that helps himself to be more calm, and it really helps his mental focus. Not getting all whooped up and getting out of his mental frame of mind. And right now what he's going to do is he's going to move a little bit to the right and use the same strike line, or excuse me, to the left. He's left-handed. And get this ball to hook into the 3-9.
Not an easy spare, but he's got it. Covers nicely. First show for Patrick Allen since the Seattle, Washington area event of last year, Kirkland, Washington, when he lost to Patrick Healy Jr., 232-225. Back to Walter Ray. Working on a spare. Second strike of this match in the first 4 frames for the Hall of Famer.
You see Walter Ray playing about the 4th arrow, swinging that ball out to about the 8th board, and then getting that thing to come all the way back and doing the nice job of the 6, taking the 10 out.
He's focused now. Shreds the rack. Walter Ray Williams Jr., another strike.
Yeah, the difference between what Walter's doing now and what he did all day yesterday. Yesterday he bowled on fresh oil every match against one opponent. He could play further to the right and keep his hand underneath it. The further left Walter Ray moves, the more he's going to get his hand to rotate around the ball because the ball has to cover much more ground.
Want me to hit it?
A re-rack issue on 96. Actually, the machine's on the 2nd cycle. Waiting for a reset.
And now we'll get it. Advantage, disadvantage for Patrick Allen being a lefty?
Well, I think today, because you had 5 guys practicing on the same pair of lanes for a half an hour prior to the telecast, I think it's an advantage for Patrick Allen. I think the right side of the lane's broken out a lot more. There's only one left-hander. I think Patrick Allen can really groove a nice shot, a nice ball reaction for himself.
Trying to keep his roll going. Nicely done. 4 of 5 strikes for Patrick to begin this wild card match. His lone title, Detroit last season. That was his first TV show and first championship on the same day. Defeated the fireballer Robert Smith in the finals, 236-204. In that match. But in his 3 prior TV appearances, averaging 240, so he's really torn it up in front of the bright lights on television. Gets some help. Cross deck messenger. Knocks down the 7 pin, and the guy they call PA, taking on the legend today, is off to a very good start. After a 40-year history of PBA events in this building, formerly known as the Showboat, the event held at the Orleans Casino for 3 years. Now it is back. Great history, great tradition. Welcome back, everyone, to Vegas. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire PBA crew here on ESPN. How about high scores? Also part of the history of this venue. 8 300 games this week. That's one shy of a tour high in Wichita, where we had 9.
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, it's great to be back here at the Castaways. And you're right. I mean, the theme all week long is high scores. A lot of theories as to why that is, but I think it's evident by the last strike that Patrick Allen just threw. The one thing I do know is that this is the same oil pattern we used in Tacoma.
It is pattern B and a lot of high scores.
43 feet that they used in Tacoma as well as here. And the way the players played this was there's a lot of oil in the middle part of the lane. So they didn't have to try to throw it to the right. They would allow the oil to push the ball to the right, look for the back end reaction, the friction down the lane, and that subtle left turn.
For much more about the lane patterns, log on to the Sports Best website, PBA.com. And also simulcasts of the round of 16, round of 8 matches. Chris Barnes was doing a little play-by-play with our Masters champion Brian Smith last night on the web. Walter Ray comes in a little bit light and has got double wood.
Well, if Walter doesn't get it all at the bottom of the swing in terms of release, if he misses it just a little bit, that ball's not going to react down the lane.
Look at move up, multi-pin spare conversions. Handles that with ease. Walter Ray is the leader. PBA Tour points, trying to wrap up that top spot and clinch spot into the round of 16, bypassing all qualifying, the season-ending World Championship, Taylor, Michigan. On the line today, first place prize will bring $40,000 and 25,000 tour points. It was double last week. It's double next week as well at the U.S. Open in L.A.
Again, pin carry. Trip 4. This ball's going to drift just slightly high. And here comes a great pin action. And Page likes it when Walter trips the 4. Walter likes it when Walter trips the 4, but nobody else does. None of his opponents do.
Amazing to watch her last night, watching her husband in action at the round of 8. She still is emotionally involved in every ball out there. I mean, talk about a dedicated fan. Right there with her husband on every approach, and Patrick Allen continues the roll, making a triple and a 30-pin lead.
Another great shot by Patrick Allen, and you know, last night I asked him, I said, Patrick, why do you think it's so hard to win out here? And he said, Randy, it's simple. The talent pool is so deep, so many good players, and then the format. It's just, it's been really tough. And you know, you mentioned it before that he gets in matches and goes up against some of the headliners, and he just gives it all he's got, and they just keep taking care of him. And this week he finally broke loose, bowled against another great champion, Ryan Schaefer. Won the last 3 games to get here. Looking for a 40-pin lead.
4-bagger. Showing it to you with the ESPN in sync. He's in sync all right. 60 feet to success for Allen there. 4 times in a row. Amazing to think about. No repeat winners on tour. 15 straight, that's a new record. Will it change this week? Brian Smith won our ABC Masters last week in Reno. That's what he wanted in the pocket.
Walter Ray can strike out the 9th and 10th frame to shoot 248. Patrick Allen can shoot 278 if he goes to the wall. This shot here in the 9th will keep Patrick Allen honest and make him work for it.
You're down by 20 and a triple. Yeah, better believe it.
This is the 4th time that we've seen pattern B, and Walter Ray Williams Jr. has made the telecast, or excuse me, finished 9th in Memphis and then made the last 3 telecasts. Latham, New York, Tacoma, and here.
And he's made 3 of 4 to start the Western Swing, the winter section of the PBA Tour. 8 TV appearances in all this season. A runaway leader in all the major categories. Patrick Allen amongst the bowlers trying to catch him. But they didn't like that ball. Just didn't like it. You can see it. got a little help. He turned away from that ball.
Well, he knew it was going dead right out of his hand. He turned his back on it, hoping that it wouldn't be disaster, and he just avoided it. And watch this reaction. Single pin spare, he got a great break.
Hoping it wouldn't be worse. Yeah, it could have been a split. .257 max score for Allen. Picks up the mark, 4-pin. Finished in a tie for 9th place in Medford.
I gotta take another one. I need
Same in Grand Rapids and Detroit. 6th in Memphis, so he hasn't made shows, but he's been pretty close.
The situation here is easy as Patrick Allen takes a re-rack. 2 strikes and 1 pin shuts out Walter Ray Williams Jr. Anything less, Walter Ray can get up in the 10th frame and win this match.
Just like Schaefer. Heard him say just like Schaefer, just like the round of 8 match he played here last night. Down 2 games to none, came back, rallied and won, needed 2 in the 10th, got it. Can he do it again? Oh, gets help with a 10.
Watch this pin action. This is something you don't see a whole lot of. Watch the pin get hit from behind. That's great pin carry. Keeps him alive. This one to win the match. That's what he said to me last night when he needed a double to beat Ryan Schaefer. He said, all I have to do is tell myself, just let go.
Does he have it? Yes!
Cannot give him a chance to win.
That's for sure. And you didn't. Just keep it on the lane. What a great shot. You know what? In my opinion, one of the most talented left-handers out here. You got to group him in that same category with Jason Couch and Parker Bone III. This guy is phenomenal. Very underrated.
Wow. Just needed 2. He gets 10. And he's wrapped up the wild card match. Patrick Allen is off to the semifinals to take on Amleto Monacelli. 3rd show of the season. Memphis, Detroit, now Vegas for Lonnie Waliczek from Wichita, Kansas. He's come close. 2nd last year to Doug Kent, PBA World Championships in Toledo.
It's full of good game.
And if Lonnie were to happen to win today, it wouldn't be by luck, although a little luck never hurt anybody. But this guy's really learned how to manage his game over the last 2 years.
A moment ago, speaking to his young daughter, watching back at home in Kansas, along with wife, Amy. Not a good break at all for Waliczek to start the day.
A little fast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. A little fast. Now this 2A10 normally is not makeable, but here, because these pins fly around so much, throw the ball and you drive it straight into this 2-8 really hard, slapping it around, getting it off the sidewall, maybe having it go over in this area, and having it come out of the back and clip that 10 pin. He's going to throw the slow hook.
Leaves the 10.
See, now that's that same thing, only if throwing the ball a lot harder, a lot faster, would have gotten those pins to move around the back part of the lane. Watch the 2 pin almost come back out of there. More speed, it might have just done that.
We know Lonnie is someone very focused, but still difficult to start your match with an open frame.
Yeah, and he's got to get his emotions intact, because the one thing that he did so well all week long was keep his ball speed down.
Facing the turtle, Tim Criss. Great start for Criss. Tim, who normally on TV show days is working with us as a tape spotter with David Winter, our VBS operator in the truck. By the numbers this week, Criss and Waliczek pretty close, and a lot of the key stats, including strike percentage.
Great spare conversion rate for Tim Criss as well. He was down last night in the round of 8. Rick Steelsmith 2-1. Came back and won the last 2 games.
So Tim jumps out of the TV truck, gets some help there with a trip 4, and on
Schaefer
to the lanes.
Well, you know, he gets his nickname the Turtle, and ball speed is certainly not an issue for Tim Criss. He can manage slow ball speed with the best of them. We've seen Walter Ray trip the 4. Tim Criss gets the great break with the trip 4.
Strike percentage so far. Nice improvement this week in Vegas. Back to Waliczek. Had to hurry to get into the pocket and left the 10-pin.
And one disadvantage for Lonnie Waliczek is that he had the lowest average of the 5 bowlers today on the TD pair. And low, he averaged 228. Not exactly lousy. Rooms with his brother Brian out here. He says Brian is a calming influence on him. They talk strategy, but Brian's outlook's a little bit different because he's got a higher rev rate. He hooks it more.
Right. He told us last night sometimes they agree to disagree on plenty of subjects having to do with bowling strategy. He's down early after the open frame, 21 pins.
Well, the right lane shot was good. This lane here, opening shot was too fast. And again, he told me last night, trying to keep his speed soft and trying to keep it soft to get it to roll. Keep it in the oil instead of throwing it to a spot. That's what he did all week long. There you go. See how much softer that was, Dave Ryan?
Exactly where he wanted it. Prediction?
I like the Bucks. Okay. Defense. Defense, brother.
Floridian
defense.
likes the Bucks. Back to Criss. Came in a bit light. A little late hook on his ball.
A, he either missed it at the bottom, meaning the release, or B, threw it too hard. Direction-wise, looked pretty good. But this ball never grabbed the back part of the lane. There was no friction created and no change of direction.
Strange ball reaction, especially toward the end there. Got his mark after starting with a double.
And it's been a while since Tim has been to the telecast. His last TV show was 2001 Greater Cincinnati Classic, and it's understandable for him to be a little anxious and a little nervous. Starts off with 2 in a row, gets pumped up, maybe threw that one a little bit too hard.
November 11th of 2001, that was his last TV show. Lost to Doug Kent. 5 career PBA wins. His best season, 97, when he won 3 times. Looking for help, does not get it on the 10.
It didn't hit very well.
Got by Steel Smith last night, round of 8 here in Vegas. After defeating Brian Voss in the round of 16, that went the full 5 games. How about Voss this week with a back-to-back 300 game?
Yeah, I was going to say we have to pay homage to Brian Voss. What a performance all week long. 28 in a row at one point.
Part of an 300 game week. You see his wife here, his young daughter, Sherry and Amanda, coming to us from Bel Air, Maryland. They travel with Tim quite a bit, most of the tour season, except for a couple weeks on the West Coast where they don't have the motorhome. Little man is excited. Look just like Tim.
They've actually gone 3 weeks without seeing each other.
Right.
Tim just went like cash, cash, cash. They come out this week, he makes the show. Get out of there!
Got some help. Across the pin deck on the 10-pin.
Well, hello, Messenger, and again, the awesome carry. As you see the profile of Lonnie Waliczek, he really sticks to finish. Here comes the head pin. Get out of town.
Now Lonnie looks for a triple. Strike here puts him up by a 1 pin. Bottom of your screen, how some of the other bowlers have fared. And Brian Voss with a 245 average, but that's the thing with the new format, Randy. No matter how well you bowl throughout qualifying and into match play, you can get yourself in trouble in the best of 5 and suddenly you're out.
Yeah, and our partner Joe Ciccone, who works as our official scorer on Sundays, had a great tournament. He's been bowling great as of late. Nice to see Joe bowling better.
How some of the other top bowlers are performing.
Wow.
Balk there from Lonnie.
All right, regroup. Seen Chris Barnes do this many times, although I don't think Chris actually lets go of it like this. We've got a shot clock violation. The first offense is $100. Every offense after that is $500. Could get expensive.
Let's go this time.
There we go.
Stop, baby! Nobody's going anywhere!
He liked that upon release.
In order for Lonnie Waliczek to win, he told me he has to get comfortable, find his shot in practice, and when he starts, he has to have a clear mental picture. Right now, he's working on 3 in a row.
He said to us last night, Randy, he gets that clear picture pretty early, usually the warm-up time. First couple of balls, although his first frame was open. So maybe he didn't have it right away, but he's got it back down with a triple. Back to Tim. No help on the 10-pin. That was Kirk Von Kruger, our tournament director, telling him he had also a shot clock violation. Time expired, 25 seconds.
Well, the thing that,
One each.
excuse me, Dave, the thing that concerns me right now is the last 2 shots from Tim Criss. Week 10, Tim Criss told me that
Around the ball.
the one thing that he can't do is have his ball plaque. And what I mean by that is when the ball is finishing too weak and you leave that week 10, he's got to make a ball change.
Plenty of TV appearances for Tim Criss. 23 prior. He's 13-20 all-time with a 215 average. Under the lights here, he's got the 4-7 to deal with.
You know, and I deal with this week in and week out. I go week 10, and then I try to get a little bit extra to get the ball to finish harder, and it jumps up high and leaves the 4-7. Or the fast 8. Excuse me.
His 13-20 record we talked about. Covers. It's a semifinal match. The guy that called the Turtle, Tim Criss, looking for his first win of the year. Waliczek for his first career title.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, the Castaways Hotel and Casino. We're bowling right next door to the 80,000 square foot casino. You know, they call him Tim the Turtle, and today he looks to turn the Castaways into his own personal terrapin station. A reference to the Grateful Dead. That brings me to our Dexter approach. Tim Criss, I watch the drift. The second and third step are going this way. What that does is it allows his hips to get out of the way so he can swing that ball directly underneath that right shoulder. Beautiful. Now for profile, this is two things that I really like about Tim's game. The backswing, the direction of the backswing, the height of the backswing. Go ahead and roll. And this is my favorite thing. Look at how he plants and nails this finish. His spine angle in perfect line.
Tim Criss, subject of this week's Dexter approach. See Lonnie go to the quick lick of the hand and onto the shoe. Kind of a tradition with him, little superstition to keep him focused and keep his footwork exactly in line. Get some help on the 7th.
That was lucky.
Well, a little luck never hurt anyone, especially when you're in Vegas. Watch the pin action here, almost a pocket 7-10. Wow, just tomahawks everywhere. Turns that 3-bagger into a 4-bagger. That could have been 3 in a row, 8-1. Pulling in the thumb hole creates a little bit of moisture, easy to hold on to. Some players like to use tape to get a nice feel. Some players, a little hot breath in the thumb hole.
Oh, yes. Come on now. Double, baby. All right. Keep it going.
He does keep it going with ESPN in sync. Five straight strikes. Lonnie Waliczek. Tim Criss, max of 245, works on a spare 7th frame. Yeah. Oh, down in the pit.
Well, it's go time now for Tim Criss. He really needs to get something started. Impose his will on Lonnie Waliczek by throwing some strikes. Put a little bit of pressure back in the other direction.
Strike here for Tim. He's down 14 pins. Watching via ESPN in sync.
Yeah!
Well, we have a ball game.
Back in the game.
You asked Tim what the theme of this week was. I was expecting carry or high scores. He said the theme of the week, Fear the Turtle. And I saw that thing he brought out in the Open.
Yes.
I think that was an endangered species, wasn't it?
It might be. We've got to check into that.
Yeah.
Big
All right.
Maryland Terrapin fan. That's the slogan of the Maryland athletic program.
Okay. No more stuffed turtles on the show.
Back to the weak shocker, Lonnie Waliczek.
Look out.
Looking for help from the messenger on the 10. Didn't get it, but avoided the big split.
Yeah, you know, twice in a row, he almost leaves a pocket 7-10 on that lane. And see, you can see how quickly things changed. Lonnie 5 in a row. Now he's going to go 9 spare if he converts the 10. Tim Criss working on a double.
No, your eyes aren't deceiving you, folks. That is Brendan Paul, an Elvis impersonator. The king is here in spirit and sort of in person.
Thank you very much.
Great job by Brendan at the start of our show. A little Las Vegas flavor. And there's Brian, Lonnie's brother. Rooms with him on the road.
Having a phenomenal year, being his rookie season. He's doing just great.
Foundation frame, 13-pin lead. Oh, 9 is tripped away again.
And Elvis just left the building to go get Lonnie Waliczek some butter to go with that sweet roll as he rolls the 9-pin. Nice little break there. Trip 9 last to go. Sets up the 10th frame. He can strike out now for 248. The best Tim Criss can do, 245.
Great rebound from Waliczek's open frame to begin the match. With a low 2-pin, no!
Well, 9 spare to be in the 2 teens. He can strike out. He shoot 224. Would force Lonnie Waliczek to mark and get good count to advance.
Strike percentage numbers. There you see them.
That was one of the biggest concerns Tim had last night when I talked to him. He said, you know, my biggest concern is 5 guys on a pair practicing breaking the lanes down. I just hope I don't have to move too far left and my ball starts to lose energy down the lane, can't get it to hit. Sure enough, we saw him do that with the 2 weak 10s. Said he was going to drill another ball, the same ball he'd used all week long, just make the surface a lot shinier.
Needed that one.
Well, that was
Flush in the pocket.
Excuse me, Dave Ryan. That was a really nice shot.
That was finally a good one.
Same kind of deal here. One more strike puts the pressure on Lonnie Waliczek to get up and make a good shot in the 10th frame.
Lonnie Waliczek deeply in focus at the moment. Criss, 7-pin.
Well, that doesn't help his chances any. Now Lonnie, all he needs is just 8 or 9 in the 10th frame. He wins. Doesn't even need a mark. 9 pins and 2 balls. Lonnie Waliczek advances.
And he misses the 7. That pretty much does it for Tim Criss. He does such a great job for us in our TV truck every week. Finally back on the lanes on TV show day. But he, unless Lonnie somehow runs into complete disaster, is done for the day. Lonnie Waliczek will continue the quest for his first ever title. That does it. That's a fine outing from Waliczek. Castaway's director of bowling ops, Jack Cook, here with us today. Lonnie's got his mark, and he's got his victory. He's off to the finals. 237-213 over Tim Criss. Who will he face? We find out next. We're about a half hour from the Hoover Dam in Vegas, where Amleto Monacelli goes for a 19th career win. He's the subject of today's Miller High Life. Get to know them.
Amleto Monacelli. I really started bowling when I was really 14. I got into it and fell in love with the sport. In 1982, I came out on tour to start bowling. 3 times a week I do weights and 3 times a week I do aerobics. Greatest moment on tour, I think, my second title, because I bowled against my idol, which is Mark Roth. And I beat him on TV, and then that was like a great feeling. Everywhere we go, we're coffee fanatic, but good coffee. We're talking about espresso and stuff like that. So we look for Starbucks everywhere we go and have our coffee in the morning or before we go bowling. Venti Americano, halfway room, not too much water, little skim milk and sugar. I'm very hungry. I really am. I feel like I can win any time. I really do. I have my puzzle almost done. You know, I feel like a couple of pieces just I had to put together. They can come up just any minute.
The Miller High Life Get to Know Them subject. Amleto Monacelli already has won Player of the Year awards. Would like to get back in the winner's circle. First, the semis against Allen next. Amleto Monacelli and Allen head-to-head, second semifinal. Amleto has been, as we see his native country, Venezuela, dealing with tremendous emotion because of the nationwide strike and all of the emotional turmoil resulting. Great start.
And just another chip for Amleto. Chronic hand problems, is using this new tape made by Vice Inserts, and it replaces the old skin patch. Remember you put skin patch on an open wound, man, you got that ether and that alcohol there, just burning, oh my God. Well, now we can put this tape on, this protective tape, and it's like having a second skin, man. You don't even feel it. When you take it off, there's no residue. It's beautiful.
Back to Allen.
That's it, bro.
Good start for him. 233 average, a 10-7 match play mark for Allen. Part of his numbers this week.
Amleto Monacelli averaged 242, which is a huge average. On the TV pair, averaged 244. When you're averaging that high, you're not shooting a whole lot of spares.
First TV show of the year for Allen. He's won over $26,000 on tour this year. Change all that. A take on 40 if he keeps that up with a big strike.
And speaking of high scores, always high scores in Erie, PA. Eastway Lanes, but Showboat #2 tied with Mechanicsburg. And remember, we've been coming here for 40 years. Now this is just the 90s. I actually made my first 7-10 split ever here in this building.
This building. Back to Amleto. That 7-10 split trips out the 10 indeed. Gets them both and a strike.
Well, it's a replay of the Lonnie Waliczek strike in the earlier match. And watch the pin action. The head pin is going to get slapped silly. Wow. You think Amleto likes that? He say, give it to me one time.
Good exit.
Thank you.
Double for each to start. They're all even. That intricate stat we saw a moment ago as Elvis watches closely. Great research and incredible work all season long from Russ Toohey, Jen Casey, Beth Marshall, the entire PBA media staff. And our television services director, Dave Schroeder. All incredible work, and we thank you. That is Brendan Paul, not Elvis, but looks like him. I mean, it's pretty close, right? You've seen a lot of impersonators.
Well, not a lot. I've seen a couple, but yeah, he looks good.
Glad to have presence of the king. Hey, we were in Memphis and we saw Graceland. You weren't on that tour with us that morning.
I did not make that trip.
Earlier in the year, tour stop won by Brian Voss. Amleto's other TV show in Kansas City. That's it. Second TV appearance of the year. 7-pin for him. How did Amleto Monacelli get this far? 3-0 win over Bob Learn Jr., his roommate.
Yeah, I asked him, I said, was it tough to bowl against Bob Learn? And he said, Randy, okay, he said, Randy, when I bowl, it doesn't matter who it is, I show no mercy. He says, but obviously after the match, we're still going to be friends. Sorry about the bad Amleto imitation.
saw the career match play record. Try to improve on that today in Vegas. Pocket.
Shin yum, brother. Shin yum.
I'm not really sure what that means, but I will tell you this, that Patrick Allen practiced a lot during the summer, and he used regionals as a tune-up for the tour, because the regionals use a lot of the same patterns we use on the PBA Tour. And Patrick Allen actually won 3 regional titles this summer on this same pattern.
And Amleto just bowled in a regional.
Just bowled in a regional prior to the start of this tournament in this building, and Amleto won.
That's on the other side of this huge bowling complex with casino action right in the middle. 106 total lanes at the Castaways. 7-pin. Watching it via ESPN in sync. So very good endorsement for regional play, and you hear Walter and Williams talk about that quite a bit. He's in Florida in the off season, and he and Paige are not traveling around in their motor home, and bowls a lot of those southern regional events, which are stock full of talented players.
And just a quick difference between the regional tour and the PBA tour. Patrick won 3 times on that pattern. This year, 3 times on the pattern out on tour. He got as far as the top 6.
Randy, last week we had the major at the ABC Masters in Reno. Next week, the U.S. Open. Back to our 12:30 Eastern start time. We'll have for the rest of the PBA season all the way through the PBA World Championship at Taylor Sportsplex, Taylor, Michigan, outside Detroit. It's a 3rd of 4th majors. Fountain Valley next week. This is a very unusual start time for us, 4:30 Eastern. So lock us in 12:30 Eastern, the rest of the season starting next Sunday here on ESPN.
Talked to Amleto a little bit about any changes that he's made, and he said, yeah, I did it right prior to coming into bowl the regional. He said he really tried to be smoother at release. He's used to really hitting it, really grabbing a handful and hitting it at the bottom. He said, all I tried to do was just make my release much smoother when it's a regional, on a completely different condition than we bowled on for the PBA event, or the tour event, I should say. And here he is on a completely different pattern. He says he can now control the bowling ball. He can make it do what he wants it to do.
So he's had to overcome his family being in Venezuela during that horrific national strike. There's no end in sight for that. He's very worried about his wife and son back home. Paralyzer. Stays up.
The old frozen 5 and an out of range.
5-pin Amleto. His wife Teresa and Amleto Emmanuel back home in Venezuela. He was home there for a little while during the winter break after the Tournament of Champions. Didn't compete in that and was able to come back, but still very nervous about what's going on back home. There's the legend. Don Johnson lives nearby here in Las Vegas. 26 career titles. One in the Showboat event back in '71.
One of the best coaches ever. He got me to a title in 1990. His son Jimmy Johnson, a member of the Storm Pro staff and touring professional.
Back to Allen. Help with a 10.
Well, this ball's going to drift a little bit high, and Patrick Allen's going to get some nice carry. Trips out the 6-7-10. Maintaining his 22, or with a strike, I should say, will increase his lead to 22.
Watching with ESPN in sync. Pocket. Patrick Allen has 5 strikes in his first 6 frames. Casino in Las Vegas. Side of the Storm Las Vegas Classic. Vegas has hosted more consecutive PBA events. And this center also has a record. Both the city and the center. Impressive. A real home for the PBA. Amleto trying to keep it going. Trip 10.
Yeah, I tell you what, he put the nice touch on that. The 6 going to the wall and taking the 10 out last. And you can really, I can really see the difference at the bottom of the swing for Amleto Monacelli This looks a lot smoother and a lot cleaner off his hand.
He talked to us last night also, Randy, about keeping his head steady. Very deliberate, focused approach.
Well, I think the two kind of go hand in hand, too. When you're trying to do a little bit less at the bottom, it's easier to stay on balance and keep your head steady.
Just from the high, gets lots of help. Yeah! Especially the trip 4-pin.
And Amleto just said, muy bueno, dámelo, give it to me. I want to carry this. Trip 4-7, or excuse me, 4-10, wow. That's the lane with more hook. The left lane is hooked more all week long. Next time Amleto's on that lane, look for him to make an adjustment or a move to the left. The reason why you want to move to the left, when the bowlers are throwing bowling balls down the lane, it's kind of like a boat creating a wake. And those bowling balls are pushing oil towards the center part of the lane. The players migrate in to get their ball to go straighter.
Allen looks for a triple and a 22-pin lead. Got it.
Dave Arnold, Dave Arnold.
His last year impressive. He can add $40,000 to the 26 grand plus he's got right now with a win here in Vegas. But first, he's got to take care of Monacelli and Waliczek in the finals. 4-bagger. 32-pin lead on the line. Oh, 7-pin.
Well, with a 9 spare here, Patrick Allen can strike out to shoot 258. And Monacelli can strike out to shoot 257. And the player that performs in the 9th and 10th frame will win this match.
He's focused. Picks up the mark.
Patrick Allen trying to take care of another Hall of Famer. Defeated Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the first match. Amleto Monacelli, also a Hall of Famer, the first foreign inductee into the PBA Hall of Fame. Amleto knows the score. He knows exactly what he needs to do. It's time to start striking.
There's one he needed.
This ball goes a pinch further to the right. Now he hits a bunch of hand at the bottom. Watch it go further right and watch the back end reaction. That's because of the wrist snap and the rotation that Amleto imparts on a bowling ball. A rev rate that high with that type of rotation creates back end. I don't care what you're bowling on in terms of oil condition.
Very interesting to see how his game has changed and adjusted from his early days when he was beating Mark Roth in our flashbacks video. Part of the Miller High Life get to know them. Different equipment nowadays. Different layout. Same result. 4-bagger down by just 1 pin now. Today, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Coverage begins at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC Sports. It's the Raiders and Tampa Bay. The Gruden Bowl, the Chucky Bowl. It's all coming your way on ABC Sports, 3 o'clock on the West Coast. It's available on HDTV as well. And the predictions, Walter Ray, apathetic. Otherwise, a split in the Final Four. We'll see what happens later today on ABC.
Simple, 3 strikes in the 10th frame on the left lane for Patrick Allen. He's going to bowl for the title.
Amleto likes football, but the European brand, or in this case,
isn't that
South American brand?
Isn't that soccer?
Soccer, exactly. Needs 3.
It's done this all week long, Dave. You heard it in the interview with Leslie Goodell. Strike out when I need to.
Last night, in the round of 8. Good start.
And you notice how he's not whoop-de-doing it up right now because he knows there's still work to do. If he gets the next strike, you're going to see his demeanor remain calm. If he gets the third one, he's going to go off. Amleto not watching. Focused on what he's all about and what he has to do. Can't worry about your opponent. There is no defense in this sport, only offense.
Patrick found himself actually thinking too much about his celebration after a shot, before a shot. You see it, not too much celebration. One more, though, he may just explode here in Vegas.
Amleto now checking the scoreboard. He knows that if Patrick Allen strikes here, he's history. See if Mappus has the Maple Moxie. He's done it all week long.
Nice alliteration.
Thanks.
Can he respond? Big pressure. Absolutely yes. He's off to the finals as he strikes out. 258. The best Amleto can do, 257. Just one title between the two finalists, Allen and Waliczek. Someone makes history. Randy, let's check now the Geico Direct Championship recap.
In our wild card match, it was Patrick Allen defeating Walter Ray Williams Jr. 257-248. And in semifinal number 1, Lonnie Waliczek taking on Tim Criss, the Turtle. Here we go. Throwing a 5-bagger.
Got it, baby. Nobody's
Taking
going
care of Tim,
anywhere.
237-213. And as you just saw in semifinal number 2, Patrick Allen defeating Amleto Monacelli by the score of 258-246. By the way, Dave Ryan, Patrick Allen, 20 out of 24 possible strikes.
Impressive. Part of the Geico Direct Championship recap. All gunning for the trophy today.
There have been 4 first-time winners on the PBA Tour this year. Lonnie Waliczek looking to make it 5. Do you find some inspiration in those other bowlers that won for the first time this year, Lonnie?
Oh, yeah, I do. You know, you kind of look at those players and you have this feeling that you're as good as them, and they've won, so, you know, maybe I can too.
Patrick Allen really containing your emotions in that semifinal match until the very end. Is there a fine line between showing emotion and staying focused?
I think I had a little problem some matches earlier in the season, getting a little emotional too early in the game, 7th, 8th frame, and it cost me, and I just tried to just be Dave Arnold till the last ball.
Well, the streak will continue. There will be 16 different winners on the tour this season. Now it's just a matter of which one.
Allen and Waliczek in the championship match. Storm Las Vegas Classic.
Lonnie Waliczek starts the match, which means he finishes the match on the right lane, quite possibly for his first title ever. That hand on the side of the ball for rotation around the side, get it to hook in the back end.
It's a bit high, help over the 3.
Lonnie hasn't bowled in this pair in a game, and the left lane is breaking down, and Lonnie's going to have to make an adjustment left, get the ball to push further right.
Told us last night he feels he's getting closer to the top of his game. 6'10" there. Certainly has come through when he's needed.
Good shot.
So far today in Vegas. Multi-conversion numbers on his spares. Trying to bring up the percentage. Covers. By the numbers, head-to-head, Allen and Waliczek, Randy.
And Patrick Allen, a little bit lower average, but a higher striking percentage. Total average on the TV pair today, the lefties actually averaged higher, 240 versus the righties, 229. Check out the lane comparison. Likes the left a little bit better. He gets to finish.
Yeah, no opens yet.
He gets to finish on that lane.
His first strike in the championship match. Now it's up to Waliczek. Open with a strike, first frame. 6th year on tour for Lonnie. Still bidding for his first career title. He's been runner-up before, but never held the championship check aloft. Maybe today it changes.
Dig ball.
The light, 2-pin.
You hear him say dig ball, and that means he wants the ball to grab the lane in the back end, the back part of the lane, so it'll change direction. That ball doesn't. As you mentioned, Dave Ryan, he finished second last year at the World Championships to the champion, Doug Kent, $100,000 for first then. This year it's $120,000 for first. The road to the World Championships.
Picks up his mark. We saw his reference to a very good career at Wichita State for Gordon Vatican as well. Days in on the road. We've got our third big event next week. Fountain Bowl in Fountain Valley, California, near LA. Also, we go to Dallas and Taylor, Michigan, the 4th and final major. The Taylor Sportsplex outside Detroit.
There's the adjustment. Further left, giving the ball a little bit more room. Further left to get the ball to hold its line a little bit longer. Just a little food for thought as Patrick Allen gets up on the right lane. Today, Patrick Allen's average 257. The 3 right-handers 238.
Looks for a double, 3rd frame, and a 10-pin lead. The southpaw again. Oh, 9-pin.
And there's my bosses, Barbara and Bill Chrisman, co-owners of Storm Bowling Products. Storm sponsors more touring professionals than any other ball manufacturer, period. Thanks to them, I thank you. Member of the Storm staff, thanks Wes Pye, Rich Karuba, and always Chris Schlimmer, who's out here week in and week out with us touring guys.
9-pin conversion for Allen.
I got to pop Bill Supper and Dave Sims in as well. If I don't, they're going to probably cut my salary in half. So.
We can't have that.
But thanks, guys. What a wonderful job Storm does. Our biggest supporters out on the PBA tour. They sponsor bowling. They love bowling. Hence the name Storm, the Bowlers Company.
Title sponsor here at our event in Vegas at the Castaways. Completing the Nevada swing. Our second major, the ABC Masters in Reno last week. Won by Brian Smith. Amazing. There have been 15 different winners, 15 events. The 2 in Japan. 13 stateside so far. It's going to happen again. Which one will be the new winner is the question. Allen or Waliczek?
Well, you know, we saw such great pin carry the first 3 matches, and now all of a sudden, a little suspect. Ball's burning up a little earlier, meaning it's starting to grab the lane surface a little bit sooner, and when that happens, the ball loses energy as it enters the pins.
Allen trying to finish out the 4th frame in style does so. Amazing to think about it. No repeat winners. A brand new winner to be crowned today. Finals of the Storm Las Vegas Classic. Castaways Hotel and Casino. A couple of miles from the Strip. Lonnie Waliczek, Wichita, Kansas. Bidding for his first ever title. Here's his chance. 10-pin.
And again, you know, we don't see the good pin carry because the ball's burning up. Ball's not entering the pocket sharp enough to create the pin carry. Not quite as far left on this lane. However, I think that if he wanted to, he could move a little bit further left, get his speed a little bit softer, and get the ball to change direction a little bit harder.
Gets his mark. Fourth frame and a 1-pin lead. Memphis, Detroit, now Vegas. 3 TV shows for Waliczek. Pulled very well in Memphis. Finished third there, lost to Danny Wiseman. It was October 27th of last year. Brian Voss eventually won that event. Big strike for Lonnie.
Well, you can see how much further left he is on this left lane. He has to loft the ball just a little bit so his laydown area isn't in the left channel. See that a lot during the qualifying rounds where the shot starts in. Players have to move deeper. They get so far left that they have to start lofting it over the gutter cap.
They're the new champions, including last week at the ABC Masters, our major in Reno. Brian Smith from Oregon. Devaney McCune Healy Jr. early in the season in KC. Lonnie Waliczek could add his name to the list, making it 5. Big strike from Patrick Allen, keeping pace. Middle of the championship match. Strike here. He's up 9 pins. Needs it. Gets out with a late trip on a 7.
Well, he just got the nice little love tap on the 7, and it looks to me like Patrick Allen has moved to the right. Just the opposite of what the righties do. The righties move left. He's moving a little bit right to find a little bit more oil for himself. Get that ball to change direction harder.
Strike here. Lead goes right back to Waliczek's favor by a pin. Looking for a double 6 frame. Has it. Lonnie, the 18th ranked bowler, tour points. See the strike percentage numbers. Close to what he's produced.
A non-winner and a one-time winner going head-to-head.
You see the focus from Allen right behind Lonnie. Can't bear to watch.
Now do it, all right, now we're playing.
Trip of the 10.
You know, the amazing part about Lonnie is during his Leslie Goodell interview, it just seems like such a calm, quiet, soft demeanor. And you get him on the lanes, and he's ready to just rip your head off. I mean, the guy's just so intense.
Rights with the left hand. Balls with the right. Here's our lefty, Patrick Allen. Oh, 10 in the pit for him. Each believe in extreme focus and concentration. And each bowler can't watch the other right now. They're in their own world. Looking for a 4-bagger and a 9-pin lead. This has been a seesaw match. Real roller coaster, fun to watch. Back and forth.
Both players very deliberate. They take a lot of time getting ready, getting prepared, making sure everything is perfect.
Shimmy up. Shimmy up.
Talks his way into another strike. Walter Ray, as the wild card, was knocked out early, but still the points leader over Criss Barnes. He's helping us on the TV side today. On the line, 25,000 tour points. 50 were to be won by Brian Smith last week in Reno, and 50 next week. U.S. Open near L.A. Looking for a 4-bagger.
Good spot, good spot.
He answers. Up 1. Fantastic championship match. Wouldn't think we'd have just one career title between these two, the way they're bowling in the title match.
Well, you know, it's not the first time they've been here. Learn from, you know, prior mistakes on TV and applied what they've learned to this match right here.
And the ESPN in sync talks his way into another one.
Dig in that oil, blue ball.
Oh man, normally when I talk to my equipment, it's all bad because it never listens.
40 straight. And right now, 4 straight strikes. Looking for a 5-bagger. Strike here is down 1. Lonnie busy making his notations. The scorecard. Another one. 5 in a row.
Well, Patrick Allen's other 2 games are 257 and 258. If he strikes out in the 10th frame, he can shoot 259. By throwing 3 strikes in the 10th frame, he will force Lonnie Waliczek to throw 3 in the 10th to win by 1 pin.
Wow. It's been that close. Lonnie with a max of 260 as things stand. Allen hoping for a 6-bagger. Oh, yes. Shreds the rack.
Take a look at this shot here. That's what we call dead flush. All 10 get pulled right off the pin deck. Push it towards the target and let it go.
Does he have another?
Look out.
It came way off the mark.
And hard to believe that he would throw a shot like this when he needed to after what he's done all week long. In his first match where he threw struck out in the 10th, the wild card match where he shut out Walter Ray, just making great shots in the 10th frame and then flags the head pin. Hard to believe.
1-3-9 up for him as he came in light from the left-hand side, covers, but he really needed a strike there.
Lonnie Waliczek, 1 strike, 9 pins to win his first ever PBA Tour event.
You can see Patrick talking to himself in the background there. That's what Lonnie needs. Now finishing up with a 246. It's up to Lonnie. Gets it.
Yes! 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 One more time.
Not over yet. Still needs 9. 9 pins on this 1 ball. He's a winner. Anything less than 9. 6 spare, we have a tie. 7 or 8, he needs to make the spare.
Needs the 9.
Oh,
Gets
yes.
10.
Oh, yes!
Gets a title.
Yes, sir! Yes, Lonnie! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Finally!
6 long years on the tour, waiting for a championship.
Oh.
The wait ends today in Las Vegas. What a feeling. Lonnie Waliczek of Wichita. His first ever PBA championship. In a great match with Patrick Allen. Time to celebrate. Lonnie, the former Wheat Shocker, wins today.